guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video on Hestia. So like the previous videos, my Greek mythology book by Liz Albert, I'm going to give you a tiny quick introduction about Hestia, who she is, before we actually get on to who she is. Because I've been doing this for so long now that it's the same beginning. So Hestia, she is the goddess of home and hearth, and her Roman name is Vesta. So she's the only one that's literally got a name that is okay, like Vesta and Hestia. It works, you know, it does work. So she is the daughter of Cronus and Rhea. 6 siblings. You've got Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Poseidon, Hades and Zeus. Zeus became king of the skies and everything else. Hades became lord of the underworld. Poseidon, god of the sea. Hera became his wife. Hestia is the goddess of home and hearth, and Demeter is harvest and agriculture and mother of Persephone. I'll link the videos here so you can check those out, all about Cronus, which is how we get onto Hestia and who she is and what she is. Zeus basically saved all his siblings from Cronus' stomach, and they all came out and went to do their own things. Cronus ends up in Tartarus, chained up because of Zeus and his thunderbolt. That's just a quick description about her. But guys, check out the video so you can actually get a little bit more information about that if you want to know about Cronus and who he was. Right, so Hestia. She is the least known goddess ever. There is hardly anything about her. If I didn't say to you that Hestia was a goddess, I don't think you'd know who she was, because she just doesn't exist. Not many myths about her, there's not many stories, there's not many legends, there's not really anything about her. But she's still one of the most important gods and goddesses ever. Like, they worshipped her every single day. They sacrificed every time they ate in their home. Like, she was literally the most important god and goddess ever. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I didn't even know she was a person. I didn't know she was real like I did, because I know Greek mythology, but I just didn't know anything about her because there's nothing to know. It's just mad how she's like the most important goddess, yet you don't really talk about her. Okay, so Hestia was a virgin goddess, and she's one of the most important gods in day-to-day life of the ancient Greeks. The ancient Greeks, sorry. The goddess of the hearth and home, she was worshipped daily and was responsible for the domestic life and such domestic happiness. In this role, she received portions of all sacrifices made to the gods. When the ancient Greeks sacrificed an animal to the gods, they would prepare a feast of remaining portion, which was presided over by Hestia. In all the ancient cities and towns, they would also have a public hearth sacred to Hestia, the fire at which was never permitted to go out. So this fire that they would have in towns and cities, so imagine London, for example, there'd be a great big fire in the middle. Any cities around where London was that they wanted to then create homes or whatever, they would have to take some of those embers from that fire to take over to a new fire to keep the fires going, and they could never ever go out. So all the Greeks and gods and goddesses like that you would worship, she was the one that you would worship till the very end, because she was an everyday god that you would sacrifice to. Hestia was both the oldest and youngest of the Olympians. She was firstborn to Cronus and Rhea, and therefore the first eaten by Cronus, but because of this she was the last to be vomited up by him and is in his defeat by Zeus. This made Hestia and Zeus both the youngest and eldest children. Hestia kept herself free of the drama that all the other gods fed upon daily. She didn't involve herself with humans or even the other gods, but there was a brief time when Apollo and Poseidon sought to marry Hestia. But she made it very clear to them and to Zeus that she wouldn't be marrying anybody and that she would remain a virgin forever. For likely the same reason, a complete disinterest in the other Olympian gods. So she didn't want to marry anyone. She was sometimes considered one of the Olympians, though she retained her importance in the lives of the Greeks. So although she wasn't a part of it, she was still seen as one of the 12 Olympians. She was still important because, like I said, they worshipped her every day. Because she didn't want to get married, and Apollo and Poseidon were the ones that most famous suitors for her, I'm sure she had loads of others, because she didn't want anything to do with them at all, and Zeus still saw her as an important element, he was the one and the reason why she had all these fires and why she became so powerful. I suppose she was never going to breed or have children or be seen as more important. So Zeus wanted her to be important. I don't know what goes on in that god's mind. So there is one story about her. So Hestia remained as far removed from the other gods, and there are not many stories about her. So she just lived in her little cabin, eating her soup over her fireplace, glowing because everyone worshipped her. But there is a story about her. So she was most importantly historically than she was mythologically. As the goddess of the home, the ancient gods relied on her for everything to do with their homes and safety and comfort that came with them. So Ovid, the Roman poet, relates to the only incident involving Hestia and the gods. So she attended a feast where the gods mingles with nymphs and satyrs. So it's probably the only day she went out. Hestia took a little nap, and while she was asleep, the god Priapus got into his head that he was going to assault her. A nearby donkey brayed loudly, causing Hestia to wake up before she was able to do anything, and he found himself very embarrassed for the whole event. It's horrible that the only sort of story that she's involved in is a story like that, but that is one of the stories that she is involved in. But there is something also which is quite cool and quite interesting. So the Romans eventually adapted a cult of worshippers for Hestia. So her Roman name was Vesta. And the Romans had a group specifically selected of girls who were called the Vestal Virgins, who were devoted to Vesta and maintained the sacred fire that was burning in her sanctuaries. These girls were some of the most important priestesses in the Roman world. So they were the ones that were in charge of the fires. They would make sure that they were always burning. They would make sure that people were taking the embers from them if they were going to create a new city. And they were probably in charge of the sacrifices that she had received in the temples as well. So that's a little bit of information about Hestia. Like I say, there's not actually much about her. She just reminds me of a cute little Hufflepuff who would sit in her little cabin and just be very, very happy with all the animals. Like a Snow White, I guess, without the dwarves and without the Prince Charming. So yeah, not like Snow White at all, but that's the idea. Anyway, let me know in the section below if you are a team Hestia, if you like Hestia, if you know anything else about her, or how you would like to describe her. Like, what do you think she was like? Do you think she was nice? Do you think she just didn't want drama? Do you think she was just always sleepy and just always wanted to just be away from the drama? I don't know. But she was still part of the 12 Olympians, and she was still a very, very important vital goddess. And like I said before, she was one of the gods and goddesses that I reckon would have stayed as long as possible with that. Because she was a virgin goddess, did that mean that she wanted to be a virgin goddess, or she just thought that men were pigs? Who knows? But yeah, I will see you guys soon. If there are any gods and goddesses that you want me to do before I do the next one, let me know in the comment section below. I've kind of got a list and an order of who I want to do and what order. But if there is anyone that you want to know about first, let me know. I will see you guys soon. Bye.